Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say is I've been following some of these Trump interviews and things, and I've noticed, especially in the last couple of, I think there was like a Hannity interview. I won't watch Sean Hannity. I just won't. I think all the only issue he speaks of right now is immigration and Biden leaving the borders open. He doesn't speak of any other issue. In 2015, uh, he was repeal and replace Obamacare. Ron Johnson, who this is where Ron Johnson lost me. Well, he lost me actually a long time ago anyway. If you think he's great, if you're one of his constituents, if you can tell me what he specifically did for you as a constituent, let me know. Because I have been trying to contact his office since 2016. I've been asking for letters of, I've been asking for updates from his office. He said he'd only served 2 terms. He clearly is a lifer now. He stood with McCain, I believe it was McCain, with despicable individuals that blocked Trump's legislation to repeal and replace Obamacare. But that was the main issue he ran on. That was the reason why he came to the podium and did an announcement speech. He ran in the midterms and won against Feingold. And his message was, I'm pissed off. I hate Obamacare. It's destroying my business. We can't get decent health care anymore. And I'm running on that. I'm running to change that. That's why I'm running. Period. And when he had a chance to turn that around, he chose not to. Most of his donors were Aurora Healthcare, Aurora Advocate, Baycare, which is Aurora. They were all based along around a hospital. Now, I can't find his donor list anymore, but the last time I was able to find it, that those companies are and organizations are no longer donating to him. It'd be like insurance companies, healthcare company, drug companies, shit like that. They were making donations to his campaign. Well, of course, I don't understand quite what he did then because I was going through some personal issues with regard to, family being ill and things like that and moving and whatnot. But I just remember being so ticked off at him. And then when he went anti-Trump in 2016, which he did, he was given a chance to speak at one of Trump's rallies and did not. He, I'm sure he's been instructed to vote for Trump now. Notice how I said instructed. But he was a never Trumper. So that's the only person, when I did ask him for help, my dad had asked to call his office and I got his veterans contact, his veteran affairs contact. And he asked me to email him. And he was actually quite a nasty individual on the phone. Wanted to know which branch of the service my dad was in, asked me a bunch of questions. And he said, well, if you're the daughter of a Marine, you know what I'm talking about. And you don't seem to know, like as if he was insinuating I was lying. And then I never got the email from him, but that's okay because my dad ended up dying. So thank you, Ron Johnson's veterans affair person, and bleep you. So now we have Trump. He talked about, and my dad did say that he did a lot for veterans and changed a lot of structures for them. And unfortunately, my dad croaked really fast unexpectedly, so I wasn't really able to finish the discussion with him. But where am I going with this? So he ran on lock her up. He ran on draining the swamp. He ran on, build the wall. But that wasn't the only thing he ran on. He ran on getting jobs. He said jobs, 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 jobs. U.S. out of UN. Why are we in NATO? Why are we paying so much? U.S. out of who? What's the deal here? We're paying too much. Now, the only thing he talks about is immigration. Because that's the only thing his handlers are allowing him to talk about, because it's the only issue that is not anti-Israel. Now, these are my opinions only, and I have to say that on YouTube. What about, he was an anti-Vaseliner. I'm not allowed to say stuff like that because I get stuff pulled. You can't even, there isn't even free speech in this country. Does he speak about free speech anymore? No, he speaks about immigration. Immigration. Does he speak about anchor babies? No. Does he speak about chain migration? No. Does he speak about cutting off benefits for immigrants? No. He doesn't even give a clear-cut plan as to what he'd do. It's my opinion that all immigration, illegal or illegal, should end for at least 10 years, which I know sounds a lot. I'd love it to be more like 30. I don't even think 10 years is a long time. Unless you already are actively in the process, but any new requests need to be, ended as of day one. Because there were times in this country where actually they stopped immigration for a short time, and the country boomed, and it was American. It was for Americans. It was a good time in this country. And people are going to hate me for saying that, but these are my opinions. So what about wars? He speaks of taking positions that I find to be absurd. I don't think people from China are going to come in here and build an army and kill me. I could see false flags happening, blamed on Hamas, but actually carried out by others, which happens a lot and happened within recent times here within the last year. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about that. I think there should be freedom in healthcare. I think that's extremely important. I think that drug ads need to be pulled from TV because the drug companies are sponsoring, or the major contributors, or they basically pay the salaries of all the news anchors. Let's end that. Because that's bullshit. That happened under Clinton in 97, I believe. That needs to end. And by the way, the first drug ad was, I believe, Bob Dole, after he lost the election, walking on a beach talking about how he needed and required Viagra. Talk about really weird. So I'm going to go through this speech, and I'm going to just forward it through. And all he talks about is immigration. That's all he talks about. He doesn't talk about the fact that term limits anymore. He's not talking about that. And then he goes to Turning Point. Turning TPUSA is not an organization that I'm interested in. I have no interest in Charlie Kirk. I have no interest in it whatsoever because I think that it is extremely pro-I. That's short for something. And it supports that agenda. And you can't be part of it unless you support that agenda because that's part of their agenda.
President Trump, it's an honor.
Thank you.
I enlisted in the Army Reserve because I love my country, like many of us do.
Right.
Under Biden, our national security is at risk with endless wars. What is your plan to bring us back to peace?
So, such a good question. So, when I ran against Hillary Clinton, I don't use the word crooked anymore. I don't use
Why not?
the word anymore. I don't do, because I removed that word. I used it for Joe. I thought it was more accurate. Then I had Sleepy Joe, and I.
Well, you know what? You are more creative than that. Keep Crooked Hillary there. And how about Pedo Joe? How about Criminal Joe? How about Dementia Joe? These are all accurate descriptions. How about Senile Joe? How about Patient Joe, as in nursing home patient? How about Depends Joe? I tell you, you'd get more attention and you'd get like more applause from that. How about Fallen Joe? Because he keeps falling all the time. How about you used to have a different name for everybody, right? You called Jeb Bush low energy Jeb. Hillary is still crooked, and believe me, if she could take a knife and stab it in your back, she would do it in a minute.
When I removed it into Crooked Joe, I thought it was slightly more accurate. But we had a situation going with all of these people, everything. They wanted to say that I was going to create World War III. Look at him, he's a radical, look at him. I was a radical for not having wars. And if you look at Viktor Orban from Hungary, strong country, strong man. He's a very powerful man, runs it strong. He didn't take.
Well, see, isn't he? I think he's rolling over for the state of I, but whatever.
He didn't take illegal aliens. He didn't want them. He said, I want my.
There he goes again with illegal aliens.
People to be Hungarian. I don't want to have my shopping centers blown up. I'm telling you, we are in more danger from the enemy from within with these lunatics, these fascists, these communists, and we're going to stop that also. But it was so interesting to get those questions because they all concern the economy, inflation, and the border, and we're going to take care of it all. We're going to make America.
Okay, I missed it. Well, I messed up on this one, didn't I? Forgive me. Let's just keep picking it up briefly. Full speech. Here it is. Okay. I apologize.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a video to intro the 45th.
This guy, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, creeps me out. I don't understand his hairline. I think he wears foundation. I worked at an office for 5 years for a small manufacturing firm that actually was quite awesome place to work. And, was in Inc. 500 and all this shit. And a couple of years in a row. And that's why they hired me. But there was one girl there, just some of these girls, I swear to God, they were so catty and so nosy. And the comptroller forgot to lock his office. And he left for the day. And she was looking for something and opened up his office drawer and found makeup in there. Like CoverGirl foundation and powder. And she's like, well, you got to come and see this. And I felt very uncomfortable with it. Now, this was in like 95 or something, 4. And I went in there and I'm like, okay. I said, I don't think we should be in here, but I can't believe this dude wears makeup. Well, that's how I feel about Charlie Kirk. Is he married or is he gay or what is he? Okay.
And hope
news out of Palm Beach, Florida, of the abuse of the prosecutorial power.
Also, we have a lot of real warriors here tonight. Thank you. This guy did some job on the border, you know.
See,
He wasn't appreciated.
this is what I'm saying. All he talks about is border, 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 immigration, border.
Actually, and now he's appreciated because you understand what he did. He did an amazing job, and good man, great wife. He had a great wife, actually.
Okay, that's nice.
The border illegally, you got caught, and they have a lot to do with it. They put the people that they don't want in those caravans. You won't
See, he's still talking about immigration.
take those criminals back.
Okay,
And you're
move
not
it.
perfect. And now you're suffering with numbers that nobody's ever seen before, and it's all. And the very first bill that Crooked Joe sent to Congress was a plan to give mass amnesty to
Here we
millions
go
and
again.
millions
Number
of
5.
happening. And I have to say,
I fucking hate him on a prompter, okay?
Arizona's being turned into a dumping ground
Okay.
for the dungeon
Another
in
5.
the United States of America, getting money for all of the different things that they get. They get cell phones, they get hospitalization,
Okay.
they get educating.
All right, this is what they get. They get free rides to and from doctor appointments. They get free rides to and from grocery shopping. They get cell phones. They get Obama phones. Say it, Trump. Fucking say it. Because that wasn't just, oh, I'm going to get a free phone. That was the beginning, pre-NSA spying that he brought forth in, I believe, 2013, where I got into a massive disagreement. Well, actually, I didn't. I got up out of the bar, walked around the block, and came back with a very good friend of mine who was an immigrant from Ireland. And he said, but darling, it's okay as long as we're safe. And I said, would you have said the same thing if Bush was still president? That was a way, and it took a few years, but that program is still available for people because it's a tracking device, right? Okay, so here we go. They get the phones, they get the healthcare, they get the housing. Sometimes they can even get cars, TV, cable TV, because you pay. Look on your cable bill. You pay for, and your internet bill, you pay for connectivity charges. You pay that on your phone bill. That shit all started under Clinton. See what I'm saying? It's just, this isn't my country anymore. Fuck it, damn it. You know? What else? Medical care, dental care. I don't know. That's enough, right? I mean,
And by the way,
oh, and then they get their Quest card, their food cards, their welfare cards, but they're loaded up with like they get like 100-day per diem for food or something if they're staying in a luxury hotel. And most of the hotels now have nice beds with big, fluffy white comforters and pillows, and they can chill. And they get their cable, they get their internet, they get their food. What more do they need?
you'll never solve the problem without the death penalty. When I was
Now he's talking about drugs. Well, thank you for doing that because of the government's control, I got run over by a truck and I can't get pain medication when I hurt. So I either have to lay down with ice packs or not do anything and sit in a chair because I can't move because I can't get pain medication. So thank you for that.
when I was in China, I was with President Xi, 1.4 billion people, strong guy, and we got along well until COVID. And I said, the hell with it, man. It wasn't.
He's floating something that I'm not sure I believe at all. Okay. I mean, the President Xi thing and the C word.
Coming in from China, and I had a deal with President Xi. He was going to give the death penalty to anybody manufacturing fentanyl in China.
Okay. You have no way to control that.
Well, today he couldn't get up, right? That was not good. What the hell happened to anyone else in modern history? Because we are so weak on the borders now. We were.
That's all he's talking about. Okay, so what's this shit with Biden not being able to get up again? Yes, Trump did say Obama created ISIS. We need to know these things again. Um, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it because they cut it. Um, let's see if we can get this. They edited this shit out already, okay? So, US leader had an uncomfortable moment. What, like, was he doing a duty and then he had to sit down because he was afraid it might fall? He needed to kind of squish it. Honestly, it's to that point.
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd.
And by the way, Jill Biden, shitloads of plastic surgery. Eye job. Is this this supposed to be the tranny? She's wearing a wig for sure. I don't know what in God's name this chick is wearing. It's like reflecting off the sun and the lighting and shit. She had her neck tightened, she had her jaw tightened, and she had an eye job, and she had a complete facelift. And she is the reason why Joe is there. And I'll tell you why. Because she doesn't want to lose her position. And RNC Research is doing a fuck shitty job, and it's a Jewish chick, I believe, of doing this, because I will tell you why. Okay? This has been cut out. This has been edited. He was saying something. His prompter is there. And Jill is sitting there picking her nose or something like that. Or she's putting her hand in front of her face telling him to get the fuck up.
Lloyd J. Austin.
Okay, so that's been cut even more, hasn't it? Oh, and here's Biden's best friend. And this wretch. This is a stroke patient. Okay, so where's the full ceremony? So I'm supposed to go to Breitbart? Fucking shit. Oh, Biden says that Ukraine is not allowed to attack Kremlin. Do you guys realize what that would be? All right, so we still can't. No matter where we go, we can't get it, can we? No, we can't. $2022. Okay. Well, whatever happened, video edited to make it appear Biden tried to sit down. Yeah. Did he sit down and what the fuck? Did he sit down and did he fall down? Where is this video? Does anyone know where this Melissa Golden? Okay. So where is it? You know, this is what happened. He's up there. Where is it? Okay. Where's the speech? Did he fall? I mean, this is ridiculous too. You know, the internet is so fucking censored. Ah, hmm. Well, I think he fell down, but there's no way for us to find that because our extremely uh, transparent and free speech society is not allowing us to do so.
Was so strong. This guy goes to the beach all the time. You ever watch him in a bathing suit? Somebody told him he looks good. Oh, Joe, you look great in a bathing suit. You know, you're 82 years old. You look fantastic. He can't lift the chair. The chair weighs about 3 ounces. You know those chairs, aluminum, hollow aluminum. They weigh like, they're built for old people to lift and for children to lift. He can't lift. Well, today he couldn't get up, right? That was not good. What the hell happened to him today? It's always an adventure. He falls out of airplanes. He falls out of helicopters. What the hell is going on? But because of Biden's policies, millions and millions of children have been...
I believe that he can do it off prompter. And I don't like him on prompter. I don't like the way he presents himself, stands.
Been separated from their families and pushed into the hands of the coyotes and the cartels.
There he goes again with immigration.
88,000, I don't know if anybody else did that. Nobody else even thought of it. And what we're doing is we're getting tremendous numbers that nobody, I don't think anybody's seen before. Years ago, we turned our country around. We made America great again. In fact, I couldn't use that slide. Different. You think Biden does this? If they ask him one question, because these are crooked people. You got to watch your vote. Watch where it's going. And if you want to volunteer to help...
They're not crooked. Just say these people are criminals. Change the narrative. Change the verbiage.
Us turn out or target voters in your neighborhood. We have a lot of people that want to vote for us, but they don't vote. We got to get...
Well, I can tell you, unless you change a few things, I'm not voting at all.
To vote, we need...
have the same life
Why? Okay.
that I have had.
Oh, it's very nice. Safe for you to stay with your family where thousands of people are pouring in and looking through your windows and what they're doing here in Texas. And by the way, the governor of Texas has done a very good job. You're a good-looking guy. Look at that guy. Looks like a banker from Wall Street.
You can see I'm an
And I've dated many of them when I worked at the brokerage firm.
and I have grandchildren that I want to see taken up.
Yes, sir. You're a good-looking guy. Look at that guy. Looks like a banker from Wall Street.
You can see I'm an old man, and I have grandchildren that I want to see taken care of.
Right.
And I love them, and I want them to know.
He wants his grandchildren taken care of. Or is he teaching them how to take care of themselves?
That they can have the same life.
Dear God, you know, my grandparents taught me how the fuck to take care of myself. What the hell is this shit?
That I have had.
Oh, it's very nice.
Well, that's not going to happen anymore, dude. So get used to it and teach them something different. I'm speaking from the way I would have been talked to.
What are you going to do about that?
What are you going to do?
We're going to make sure that they have the same. You know, you're. I mean, I could just see how incredible you are by the person. They take away your house. They take away your family. Getting bopped over the head when they weren't looking. Getting pushed into a railroad train or a subway.
I'm in the unique position of having 2 children that are in their 30s and a set of girls in there that are teenagers.
I hope to fuck they're on their own, doing their own thing, and or married.
I know what I did have to do with the 30-year-olds. I know what I now have to do with the teenagers. I have trackers on those girls, and I've taught them evasive action when driving through our county because
She puts trackers on her kids.
of the high-speed pursuits of the human trafficking.
Who would believe you have to even think about doing criminals?
Again with the immigrants.
And I find it frightening that we have illegals crossing our border.
But I people think they're going to walk into the United States if I didn't do what I did. Years of deficits. We had that.
End all immigration across the board immediately. Yeah, it's radical, isn't it? But it needs to be done. Okay, so this is